Where's that? Yeah. Is the music loud over there?
I'll tell him.
Ashley. Ashley.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the Gulf of Mexico as their backdrop, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Resort on Fort Myers Beach, here are the hosts of the dinkiest podcast in America, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all to the Mrs. Ropers that are here. Can we get a big hand for the Mrs. Ropers? And to all you dudes dressed like women, gosh, and putting lipstick on. This is his second covering or whatever you call it of lipstick. A big fundraiser today for the for FMB.
So much for your,
FMB Strong. So they're going.
You also have to say there's a couple Mr. Ropers out there as well.
Yeah.
I know these are not working.
Are you really a Mr. Roper when you put a dress on and a wig, or do you become a Mr.? Oh.
Did you order these from the Dollar store?
That one's not really working too well, so maybe you should grab a different one, and I will get a cord when the guests start. How about now? Try that.
Okay.
Yeah,
See?
that one works. So
There
the
we
second
go.
one is a cheapie. All right, so we have a long show for you today. A lot of great guests lined up, and there are 9 locations today for the Caftan.
No, they have a long day. We don't have a long show. They just have a long day.
Right. It starts here at License to Chill, then to La Ola. Everybody should spend a little time and a lot of money at La Ola when they get a chance. Yes, Mr. Waves, Wahoo Willies, Nervous Nellies, Petey's Upper Deck, the Rude Shrimp Company, Sandy Bottoms, and then Cabana's Beach Bar. Now, if you don't know this by now, you probably should pace yourself. 9 bars and restaurants in the sun.
That means 9 waters.
That's right.
Yes.
Drink water. Drink and then water. That's how you do it, right? Please, I don't want to read about anybody in the back of a paddy
Dave's
wagon.
drinking water.
Oh, very nice. Great turnout. Over 500 tickets were sold. So that's going to be a huge fundraiser for FMB Strong. Now, before we get to our guests, don't forget tomorrow we also have a show at 10 o'clock at Wahoo Willie's. We have Lee County Commissioner David Mullica on. He's going to tell us why it's going to take until the year 2035 to rebuild the pier.
It's not going to take that long.
He's also going to talk to us about the Lynn Hall Park bathrooms, Bowditch Beach.
Maybe 32.
Yeah.
35.
Crescent Park, Estero Boulevard, and all the broken sidewalks that the county hasn't fixed yet. So that's tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
I think
and then
everything's fine. When you see a Mrs. Roper with a beard over here, it's jarring.
Is that really a miss? That thing's a little small on you too, sir. You might have got you needed a little bit of a bigger. Is that a medium on you? You may be a large on that. Are you guys from here or you come at it from out of town? You from the beach? You're from the beach? No, they're from out of town. Ohio. All right. All right, let's get to our first guest there from the VFW. We have Robert Barnes and David Matthews. And I think David is the current Grand Master, right? Yes, from the VFW here on Fort Myers Beach. I'm going to give you this and I'll get a new cord. And so you guys are going to grab the other, give them, 3 and 4.
And this one.
Hello, hello, everybody.
So when you introduced yourself to me, you said Rob, and then you said a bunch of letters after that.
Roberto Carlos Miranda Barnez.
Roberto Carlos Miranda Barnez. Wow.
That's long for Rob.
So we're just going to keep it at Rob. And this was so great because he comes up to me. He's like, my name's Dave Matthews. I'm like, I know, it's right on your shirt, which is really a good help. And you guys are from the VFW.
Yep.
So tell us about the VFW.
Well, VFW Post 10097, Fort Myers Beach is on Pine Ridge Road, 17770 Pine Ridge Road. And they were established in 1968. So we've been serving Southwest Florida communities and the veterans of Southwest Florida since 1968 locally.
And then what happened when the storm came through?
Well, obviously, like everybody else in Fort Myers Beach, everybody here had to withstand some devastation. And our building had a little over 7 feet of water.
Even that far off the beach?
That far off the beach, 7 feet of water. And you can imagine that's just about total destruction inside. The building did not collapse or anything, but everything inside, from electrical to plumbing to, air conditioning to all the equipment, is
drywall. Everything's a mess.
Now, what? Tell us a little bit about your service. What you guys, what service you were in, and some of the background of you guys.
Well, I'll start.
Go ahead,
because I'm older.
How old are you, Dave?
I'm 77.
He's Dave.
Sweet.
He's Rob.
Dave, sorry. How old are you, Rob? 77. You look great, man.
I got to Florida in 1970 straight from Vietnam. I came to this lovely part of the world in 1970.
70. And so how many years did you serve in Vietnam?
Just one tour.
All right. Awesome.
Dave?
And I was in the Navy in the Gulf in 1988. My ship hit a mine in the Persian Gulf, blew 21-foot hole in it.
Wow.
And I did one tour there, of course, too.
Yeah. And so a mine in the water in the Gulf of America. And
no.
The Persian Gulf.
Persian Gulf. Sorry. I'm
you don't get to change the name of everything.
My mind is
to get that. He just wanted to get that in.
He just had to get that in.
Don't we own everything by now? Don't we own? I mean, we're going to own Gaza too soon, right? Where there are going to be hotels. Enough about that, though. So, were you injured in that, or?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
We had 21 injured in it, 17 seriously.
Okay. So when you hit a landmine with a ship like that, are you able to repair it enough or does it have to be towed somehow? You got to call Sea Tow or?
Well, we brought in tugs and
Okay.
we tugged it out of the area, but we went under our own propulsion until we got out of the danger zone.
Okay.
So it didn't just sink. You were
Well, we sunk 14 feet in 6.5 minutes.
How many folks were on the vessel?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 200.
200. And you guys trained for stuff like that, right? How
Absolutely.
big a hole did that mine
It
blow?
was a 21-foot hole. It went right up one of the main engines.
Wow. And so,
Which
but
actually saved our lives because it would have split the ship in half if it
No
hadn't
kidding.
blown through the.
did the country find out who did that? Do you know who
Oh.
did it?
You never really know, but you know.
And
I
so-
mean, it's one of those things that outwardly you can't say it, but everybody knows where it came
And so,
from.
how quickly did somebody drop a bomb on them?
Ronald Reagan was my commander in chief, and it was within 3 days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they raised
all right.
hell over there.
Yeah. So, Vietnam was a time where people were
it's
not
very divided
were
time.
not as nice.
Yeah.
So, but very welcome. I think the country is very welcome now to Vietnam vets, right? You've probably seen the evolution
Yeah, the
of.
culture in America has definitely
It-
changed.
How
Yeah.
was
It's
it when
changed
you
a lot.
came back? How was it when you came back for you personally?
Me personally, when I joined the VFW in 1970, I didn't renew after a year.
Wow.
Why?
Called us baby killers.
Yeah.
Treated
Disrespect.
us with
Yeah.
no
Mhm.
respect. It just wasn't worth VFW.
Mhm.
But the culture has totally changed. We're wide open. We welcome and look forward to welcoming all the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans that are out there
Mhm.
to come in and see us, come in and join forces with us, and help us get our posts back together,
Mhm.
and help other veterans in the area. We're celebrating the VFW is celebrating 125 years
Crazy.
of service
Crazy. That is
throughout
crazy.
across America. That's
Yeah.
125
Yeah.
years we've been helping veterans, and we've got a legislative branch that actually a member of our post is on the legislative branch nationally for VFW,
Sweet.
and they go to Washington, and they're the ones that are out there fighting
Yeah.
for veterans
They're,
benefits.
they're advocating for us.
Yeah.
So they're advocating for benefits for like health benefits.
All of it.
All of it.
Monitoring
Everything.
VA situations,
Mhm.
and we have service officers that can help you process claims, and
You know what? I always felt like folks like you that actually went to war, and I don't mean that people that sign up don't do things that are important, but people like you that go to war, when you come back, everything should be free. Like you should never pay for anything. Everybody, you did your time, and we, instead of sending the kind of money that we send to some of these crazy countries that we're finding out now, by the way, which is bizarre, you guys should, everything, and women, whoever went and did that, everything should be free. How many people are in your VFW?
well, that's a good question, Ed. We used to.
It's
have
only a little
lot.
good, not great though.
We used to have a lot.
Yeah,
Okay,
We
We used to
have
be-
about 550 regular veteran.
That sounds
members
like a
there
lot.
now.
and a number of years ago, we were the second largest post in the state of Florida.
Florida.
get out.
With
Yes.
over 1,300 members.
Wow.
Wow.
Now our
Who'd have thunk
membership's
it?
gone down that far. That's why it's so important for us to get the word out about recruitment. And if you've got a member in your family that served overseas in a war zone, you can come in and join through that member as an auxiliary member and help
Mhm.
other veterans throughout our local neighborhood, our local communities, to possibly have a better life, get them in the right direction with VA benefits and
Dave, yeah, I mean,
mental issues if they need help. I
Rob,
mean,
you look.
So I just want to ask on that. You bring up the mental issues because there's a lot of talk out there about the suicide rate for veterans.
you know what that is, Kim?
What is that?
22.
22.
veterans
Oh
a
yeah,
day.
I thought you were asking me what it is.
22
Yeah,
veterans
22.
a day.
Yep.
Holy shite. That
Yeah, I
is
do know.
insane.
So what are the efforts that need to be funded to bring that down to zero?
Well, around Southwest Florida, obviously we're the largest post. We aren't anymore. But for us to probably do the most good, we need some recruitment. We need some influx of younger blood, younger people. Our Afghan and Iraqi veterans, please step up and help your fellow veterans by joining the post.
Even
That's my
That's
Yes,
your
that's
pitch.
my biggest
Yeah.
shout out.
Yeah.
to
And
everybody
even
today.
even like newer ideas and newer thought processes, because we have to evolve now, because everything's changing in the world, of course. So
Mhm.
we need to keep things going and keep
Do you have
pushing
like a
things forward.
Facebook page and a whole like,
we do.
yeah, because you gotta,
VFW post 10097 on Facebook.
10097.
VFW Post 10097, and you can look up our calendar. We have daily posts telling what's going on each day, what's for lunch, what's happening in entertainment.
Yeah.
So we have nights of entertainment too. So
Rob,
you have entertainment, you have lunch,
we have
you
dinner.
have drinks.
Yep, and
you have
drinks,
everything.
obviously.
I still feel like you could kill somebody looking at you in the way you are. You could probably still kill somebody, right? I mean,
I don't think I should answer that.
okay. Thank you.
I'll answer it for you. I could, because it's going to be him if he doesn't
Yeah.
bring
So,
it around here.
I wrote a story the other day about Marley, who came to the VFW. Did she go to your VFW with the gift baskets for the veterans? Was it your VFW that she came to?
I don't know.
Do you guys?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay, all right. It might have been a different one. So, you guys are open. Exactly where's the location? Give people kind of
It's right on Pine Ridge.
So you go down, you leave the beach, and you head down Pine
Yep.
Ridge.
You leave the beach, you turn right on Pine Ridge,
Gotcha.
and before you make a big curve towards
On the right-hand
It's on the
side.
left.
it's on the left-hand side.
Yeah,
Now
it's on
walk
the
a
There's a
left.
big
There's a big-
flagpole.
On the
Two
left.
eagles. Eagle
What's on the
each side
right-hand
of the
side?
flagpole
There's a church.
There's the church which
Oh.
also serves as a Masonic temple.
and Masonic.
Okay. So when you go there, I mean, what do you do at the VFW?
You just come in, and if you want to talk about joining, you can ask the bartender. They'll find an officer for you, whether it's for our dads. We also have a dads organization that you could possibly join through a relative, or the auxiliary for men or women. And then, of course, veterans join the VFW itself. And you could just come in, talk to a bartender, and they'll direct you to an officer that can help you get an application going. Or
And
just
so
come on in and ask questions, or come on
Right.
in and see, is there anything you can do to help?
And what you need is a DD 214, which is the discharge papers. We need to have those, whether you're going to be a regular member or an auxiliary member, to verify.
Okay. Do you look for volunteers too, or
We absolutely are
What do you-
always looking for volunteers.
what do the volunteers do?
Good Lord. You name it, they do it. I
Okay.
swear to you.
We've got
Every
one
time.
sitting right
There
here
we
in the
go.
front row.
Two of our best right here.
Great
Nice.
volunteers, and
They're here
what
all
they-
the time in the kitchen.
What they do is they'll help for anything from getting ice to delivering food from the kitchen, or help in the kitchen, and paint, clean up, whatever.
And,
That's
and
what volunteers do. Everything.
did you guys have insurance on the building when Ian came through, how did you fit?
Minimal insurance, because our building was paid for at the time.
Oh, okay.
Now we had a big, nice cushion, which obviously we don't have anymore.
Yeah. And so, how did you pay to repair it all? Because you
Well,
guys
they had the cushion.
We had a nice cushion.
I see.
We were sitting financially in much better shape than
Otherwise,
we are now.
yeah. Are you able to get insurance now, or is it you just paid for it? So you're
Right now we have
roll the dice.
We
we
don't want to.
have VFW
at this
insurance.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, we have what we need,
Mhm.
but number one, you need like wind insurance and flood insurance, and it costs so much that,
Yeah.
we're barely able to get through right now. We're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a tough time, folks.
How do you convince young people that it's important to get into the service and spend some time in what you guys did?
I'm a big advocate. I am a big advocate. When you're young, you need to do the military,
Yeah.
because it gives you a lot of values, a lot of insight into things, and it gets you thinking on the right track if you're not so much on the right track, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Gives you that structure, that routine,
There
that
it is.
discipline.
Structure. Yes.
The camaraderie
Yes.
that you can get
Yeah.
through other veterans, and other guys can then lead you through our service officers and stuff like that work with the VA if you need help. we can direct them in the right direction to get help that they need.
Plus,
Right.
you get eligible for the GI Bill, right? They still
Mhm.
do that, where if you
Absolutely. Yeah.
spend a certain amount of time in the service,
Yep.
the country
Yeah,
will.
if anybody has questions about what benefits they have coming,
Yeah.
come into the VFW. We can help you
So
find out.
Donna has a question. What about the daughter of a veteran? Can they join as an auxiliary member?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Correct.
Of a veteran of a foreign war or
Okay.
a foreign action.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you guys give out the phone number yet? If somebody wants to call and ask questions or call and see about
Or
volunteering?
email, or what do you
Yeah.
have?
The post number is 239-466-6400.
239-466
6400.
6400. Did we miss anything, guys? Or you want to talk
Just-
about?
Just remember, check us out on Facebook. That's the easiest thing. VFW Post 10097.
10097. And I'm sure you're on TikTok and all that too, right? You've got some TikTok videos out there, or because that's owned by
No.
China,
No.
you know.
I guess that's beyond us old folks.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm still on the Facebook and nothing
And I
else.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Our website is post10097.org.
Awesome.
All
Well,
right.
thank you guys for your service. Thank you
Yes,
for coming
thank
on the
you.
show. And if
And
hopefully,
Kim, thank you for your time.
Thank
if
you.
I
Thank
stop
you.
in, will you buy me a drink? Or maybe I'll buy you a drink.
Absolutely. Come on in.
Big hand for our
Thank you
veterans,
much.
everybody. Thank you for coming on the show. And the VFW is located right on Pine Ridge as you exit the beach. And before we get to our next two guests, I need to tell you about one of our sponsors today, Eagle Eye Aluminum, specializing in seamless gutters as well as aluminum and vinyl soffit and fascia repairs or full replacement. Tom also does rescreen work and installs entry screen walls. Estimates are totally free. Oh my, totally free estimates. Isn't that nice? Give Tom Coleman a call at Eagle Eye Aluminum, or you can email him, eagleeyealuminum@gmail.com. His phone number is 239-1639. 239-340-1639. Next Saturday, everybody, is another big day on Fort Myers Beach. And it's really the first really big day on the south end of Fort Myers Beach because it's the annual Community Foundation Fashion Show. And the fashion show is mucho popular. So we're going to have Kelly and Susie come down and talk to us about the fashion show where they raise money for the Community Foundation. Welcome, ladies. So nice to see you. Kim will come back, so you guys will be fine on the camera there. Just grab whatever microphones you'd like, and we are good to go there. So I think I asked you one time when the last year was. It was before COVID, wasn't it? That you had,
No.
oh,
We
okay.
had one. You helped us with one
During-
after COVID.
COVID was, I
That
can't,
was
21?
I apologize.
can't
I mean,
remember
I don't know
anything.
what to do with him.
I
COVID
know.
was 2020.
COVID was 2020.
Yes.
I
we
get
had to-
COVID mixed up with Ian and Milton and Helene, and it's just a blur right now.
I think it was 21 that we had the last. It seems like that's why we
Yes.
moved it out to the breezeway so everybody could be
Yes.
outside,
Right.
just as
Yes.
precautionary.
Yeah. You helped us with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we were there for that.
I think we were there for two,
Right.
maybe one.
we were
Exactly.
one before and one after.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So are you
COVID.
are you
Well, after
holding the
COVID.
one next Saturday in the breezeway or in?
We are.
Okay.
That's what we're
We are.
hoping to.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
tell everybody exactly what it's about.
Well, it's
Susie?
our 12th annual, should be our 15th, but because of COVID and a few
Ian.
other things, this is our 12th. So it will be in the breezeway outside of the Islander, between the Islander and Leonie's. Fashions from the Islander and Leonie's. And we hope everybody will come. We're actually sold out at 164 tickets.
Nice.
Right. From 11 to 1 is
Yes.
when we're having
And
the
so
fashion show.
you sold tickets with swag bags that
With
had
swag bags.
what's
We
in the
did.
bags?
Oh my.
Well, so we have jewelry. We have a day pass to Margaritaville Pool. We have all kinds of discount coupons from different stores in the area. Can coolies from Island Carts and Snug Harbor. Gosh, tons of things. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
hand lotion. I mean, it's a value of, what did you say earlier? The
About
value.
125,000 or $25.
$100.
Wow,
Wow.
that is a big
120.
swag
Yeah,
bag.
I know.
125.
Not bad for
$1,000
$50
off of
bucks.
that.
Yeah.
For $50, $125 value is pretty good.
And it gives
Yeah.
you entrance into the fashion show. And then we're going to be serving hors d'oeuvres during the day to the people that attend. And we'll have a bar set up for donations.
And the bar is being provided by.
Well, we're going to have our own bar, and
Oh.
then Skies is setting up as well.
Oh,
So
good.
Sky, yes, Sylvia is going to set up a bar and have their house margaritas.
Now,
for
I don't want people to
donations.
think that that's going to lead to something. I don't think Sylvia's coming back.
No.
Yeah,
no.
it's Skies.
I
Although it does look like at Santini Plaza, which everybody's very interested in, that most, if not all, of the units but one have been rented out. Now it's just a question of getting them all filled in.
Yes,
it
that's
looks that
exactly
way.
what I understand too. And from what I understood most recently is that last one is under negotiation.
Oh, cool.
So,
and that's that was the biggest one, I think, right? The bar area, bar
Where the
restaurant
sandbar
one.
was.
The sandbar. Was
Where the
that the one
sandbar-
that was kind of up the stairy thing
Yes,
with
yes,
the big
yeah,
fish
with
out
two
front?
level.
Yeah.
Actually,
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
So
so-
will you both be walking the aisle and
No.
donning
I'll
some
probably
clothes?
be serving food.
Nice.
Okay.
So
I
what we
actually
do-
will be welcoming people. But
Yes.
yeah.
So how many models do you have? And it's men and women's clothing.
Yes.
Men and women.
Yes. We
Yes.
have 8 women, 4 men, and a couple children this year.
Very nice.
We do.
And I know Anita's place, the Islanders, a little bit larger than it had
Oh.
been before the storm. So she
Yes.
has even more items.
Yes, she more than
Absolutely.
doubled her space for her.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really beautiful in there. It's so nice. And
Yes.
the models have been going and they've already started going in. And I wanted to add too, with the community foundation, the newest members, it's kind of a rite of passage that they have to be the models for the fashion show. So a lot of our newer members
Like,
are.
is that your hazing
That's like a
procedure?
hazing
I'm not
thing.
going to call, I'm not
Sort
gonna
of,
call
yes.
it that. It's a rite of passage.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah. So they've been already starting up going into the Islander and Liani's and getting fitted for outfits to model that day.
Sweet.
And remind everybody what the community foundation does and all of the specifics of that.
We are basically a philanthropic group. We raise money here on the island to give back
To the people of
to
the,
the
island.
people on the island.
And you didn't have a.
Nonprofits, organizations.
The good news is, well, I don't know if it's good news, but you didn't have a building, so it's not like you
Correct.
have to have a building to
No, we
rebuild.
right. No, we'd always met prior to Ian at the Island Pancake House. And so we were really glad when Brian and Stacy were
Yeah.
able to get that back open because it kind of brought like a sense of normalcy to the group again. And we're meeting there the third Wednesday of each month and really enjoying it.
And
They've
you-
been
you-
great to us.
So people that can go to those, it's open. You take new
yeah.
members and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
You
Oh,
have
absolutely.
membership.
How much
Yes,
is the
absolutely.
membership for folks?
So the initial membership is $100, and that gets you the name tag and a shirt and the membership to the community foundation, and then it's $50
$50.
annually.
What do you think of all these men dressed like women?
I love it. I'm glad
Yeah.
they're doing it. I
Yeah,
really am. If
absolutely.
I could get my husband to do it, I would.
Yeah.
But
So
we'll be joining them soon.
just
Yes.
okay. Just so you know, these kinds of outfits will not be paraded around at the fashion show. It's much nicer
No.
outfits than these
Oh, yeah,
Amazon
absolutely.
purchased $9 dresses.
captains,
That
yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
now, can you fix his lipstick somehow? I mean, I think
kinda
he
like
wants.
it the way it is.
I think he wants to be a model. I think he wants to model some of the dresses next weekend.
So everything that gets modeled next weekend is going to be available for sale. People
Absolutely.
can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then this week we have different baskets set up at the Islander and Liana's too, and people can actually show up when they pick up their swag bags, or even if you don't have a swag bag, you can still show up and buy raffle tickets for a chance to win the baskets that we have on display, and we're having a 50-50 also.
50-50 also.
Sweet.
Yeah, nice baskets.
This is your biggest fundraiser of the year, or
No.
Our casino night is
Oh,
Casino
casino
is
night.
the biggest one.
when?
Yes.
When it?
We're having
Casinos
that
in
again this
April.
year.
Oh, when
It's
is it?
April 12th
Where are you having it?
at Diamond Head.
Okay, is that where you've had it the last few years?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
Because
last year was our
originally it
first
was
year.
at
It's always been at Diamond Head.
Yeah,
oh,
nice
it's always
try.
been
Yes.
at
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it was.
Oh, it was the school. Sorry,
Way
I
to-
got the
yeah, that's
school.
all right. That's
Way
all
to
right.
pay attention, dear. Way to pay
Yeah.
attention.
Dear, you messed up. You messed up earlier when you were
I mess,
confusing
but
the
people expect me to
VFW.
mess
Well,
up. They don't expect you to mess up. So the
This water is
I'm
hitting me
surprised.
hard.
So that raises that much more money. The casino night.
It really does.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. We were last year we had 122 people show up. The
Oh.
tickets are a little bit more expensive, but then that gets you the appetizers once you get in there, and we have cash. They have a cash bar. We give a certain amount of chips for you to gamble with while you're there, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can purchase more as you like to. But we also have baskets set up at the casino night too to raise money. So, and we had, because we didn't have the fashion show last year, we had a lot more baskets. We kind of prompted our members who typically make the baskets for the fashion show to make baskets for a casino night. And then also a lot of businesses donated for the casino night. So that's where a lot of our money was brought in. It was really, really great. Plus we have Alex King is our sponsor. He's sponsoring the fashion show and he's going to sponsor the casino night as well. So.
And that's April
12th.
April 12th.
April 12th. It starts at 6.
I don't think there's an event on the island that Alex doesn't sponsor,
I know,
which is really
exactly.
nice. Yeah.
He really is. He's so generous.
It's like eventually, does the King Foundation ever run out of money? They're just constantly sponsoring every
we
event.
hope not.
We hope
He might even be. I don't know. He might even be sponsoring this
I
event.
think he
behind-
did.
Yeah.
I think he did.
So,
Uh-huh.
so who's the MC? Is Anita and
Anita.
is she doing it
Anita.
solo? I think last
Yes,
time
no,
I was there,
she's-
they were kind of going back and forth, or no?
We have Anita as our
So
solo
Leanne
MC
will be
this year.
bringing some of her stuff
yes.
out as
yes.
well. Now
But,
it's a different kind of store, right?
little
She has
bit,
bathing suits and shoes.
Oh, I
well,
love bathing
more
suits and shoes. Yes.
More shoes than Anita
Nobody
carries.
wants to see you in a
Yeah.
bikini.
So
No.
it is a little bit different
Yeah.
merchandise than what Anita carries.
Yeah.
So that's why it's nice. We have a variety.
So, have you noticed anything getting closer to open down there? I mean, the pizza guy from Naples told me February or March, but I when I was down there last, I don't think they're
I
that
don't think
close.
it's going to make it at February.
No,
Yeah.
I know
No.
the ice cream place looks like it's getting closer. They were hoping in the next couple of weeks to open up, and then also Badass Coffee.
Yeah,
They're
Mhm.
supposed to be open.
they're going to be all the way on the end, I think, right?
I
Right.
think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And so, for the people on the south end, the most important thing is the liquor store is open.
Oh
It's
yeah,
open.
the liquor
Yeah.
store is open.
I mean-
It is, yes.
So,
Yes, and
It's
Surf
open.
Style is open, Liani's is open, and of course the
At
Islander.
the
Yeah.
Islander, yeah.
oh, and Anita's place looks so nice.
And the book
It's beautiful.
And
Oh,
oh,
the
yeah,
book
and
nook.
that's
yeah,
book
we can't
nook, yeah.
forget the book
See,
nook.
I got
That's
one.
right.
Annette's been
Thank
doing a
you,
lot of
Kim.
book signings
Yeah.
with authors.
Well,
She's
I
actually
recovered
helping-
from my other
she's-
faux pas.
yeah,
She's kind of combining a few things with us for the fashion show.
that
too,
lady's
so.
amazing too. Just to see her, how much she cares about that bookstore and
Yeah.
the used books, and she's in there and
She's got a
it's
whole
crazy.
kids
Just-
section
yeah,
in there last
yeah.
time I was
Yeah,
in
it's
there.
nice.
So-
And
Yeah.
she's going to actually have an author, a book author there that day for signing.
Great, good for her.
Yeah.
And for people that weren't aware, the women's club is starting their St. Patrick's Day parade at Santini Plaza on March 15th.
Yeah.
Want to make sure I screwed up the library thing when I was doing my walk around this morning. The
Yeah, that's
library
the
grand
16th.
opening is the 16th, everybody. If
Of
you missed it
March,
this
yeah.
morning, March 16th, from 10 o'clock to 2
My
o'clock, they're
goodness,
doing
there's
a.
a lot going on.
There's so
And
much
we're doing
going
a-
on.
My
There
mom's
really
going to
is.
be really busy when she comes down.
How long is she
lot of
coming
stuff.
for?
Well, you bought the ticket.
So I say
like
to
10
her,
days.
hey, do you want to come down for the shrimp festival? I will buy your ticket for the weekend. Like, I'll buy your ticket for the weekend. You can come for a weekend and stay.
That's
at
too
our house.
far to go for a weekend.
What's the difference? She wasn't paying for the tickets. So
but
then next
she
thing I know,
physically,
she's
that's
down
too
here for
much.
2 weeks.
No, it's 10-ish days.
That feels like 2 weeks.
With travel
10
days,
days
on
feels
either
like
end.
two weeks.
Well, I'm going to be working, so she'll be home with you.
And then she says to me last week, and she thought I wasn't listening because normally I'm not, but she says to me, it's really going to be a pain in the neck to get my mom moved down here. And I went, what?
She's not moving in
What?
with us, but
Okay. Well, yeah. Where is she moving? To the beach? To the beach?
no. Well, she wishes. Don't you? Yeah, no.
So anyway, but don't let her sidetrack you guys. The Community Foundation Fashion Show is huge.
It
So,
is.
Yes,
It's
it
going to be
is.
great. It'll be a lot of
Yes, it
fun.
is.
Yeah.
but you're out of seats. So can
Yeah,
people?
we have 164. We actually originally had 140, and then we upped it to 164, and
Yes.
that's max.
Kind of an odd number, 164.
Well,
I know.
Yeah,
Well, so
well-
what happened is the 140 got oversold by 4, and we thought, well, wait, let's just
Just add
up
20.
20.
You know,
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next
add
year, you
20
should
more.
let me count the chairs because
I
I'm
know,
really
oh,
good
Oh
with
my
math.
God! Do not do that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want the folks to know about the Community Foundation or the fashion show? Just let it rip.
We just appreciate you having us on and helping us with so much over the years. Honestly, it's been great, a great
Sweet.
relationship.
Well,
Yeah.
we're glad you
Wish you were
guys
going
are,
to be there.
we're glad you guys sold out,
I
but
will
we
be in
appreciate
Orlando.
your love and big hand for the Community Foundation. The first Fort Myers Beach organization I ever helped raise money for. So we appreciate you guys very much. And the show What the hell was that? The show is not over yet, everybody. We have two great guests coming up. Speaking of the Island Pancake House, they are open for business. The Island Pancake House serves breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. And they start at 7:30 in the morning until 2 o'clock. But if it's 1:59 and you start saying, I want to drink, well, they'll sit around with you and you can tell them your stories at the Island Pancake House, because Brian and Stacy are super nice and they love this damn community. They're locally owned and operated. They're located in the Seagrape Plaza right here on Fort Myers Beach, down kind of at the end before the turn there, right before Lover's Lane. And they will make your breakfast to order and your lunch as well. And they just love this community. The Island Pancake House, open 7 days a week. And also Alex King. Speaking of Alex King, he creates dreams and he elevates lifestyles. And if you're on social media at any time, he's typically walking around Fort Myers Beach doing videos because he's really good at that. He also does his research and his homework so you don't have to. If you want somebody you can trust to buy property from or to sell property here, or a home or a condo or whatever you got to sell. Maybe you got an RV you want to get rid of. Give him a call. 239-219-0336, 239-219-0336. Thank you to Alex King. And thank you to the Community Foundation. And finally, last but not least this morning, our guests from the Estero Island Historical Society is having a special event Monday at the Mound House called Preserving the Preserves. I think Ellie Bunting is starting to rank up there as one of our most frequent guests because we love having her on so much. And we love the Historical Society, and we love cleaning up their...
Yes, we need to get her a special chair, though.
We love cleaning up their lot, but she's brought a special, even specialer guest.
Got little foot things on it.
Yeah, the microphones.
Yeah.
Terry Kane is also with us, and Ellie and Terry are from the Historical Society. But ladies and gentlemen that have been on the beach for a few days know Terry back when the original comprehensive plan was written here on Fort Myers Beach in the 90s.
Oh, man. I don't know if you want
Terry was part of that. Yeah, Terry, before we get to that, you've been on the beach for a while. You've got some serious history here, right? I mean,
50 years. Ellie's longer than me.
Yeah. So what brought Terry Kane to Fort Myers Beach? I mean, how did you wind up here?
I was invited to go fishing.
Really?
Yep.
And that's all it took.
That's all it took.
Isn't that what happens to people?
Mhm.
And where were you when you got invited to go fishing?
I lived on an island in New Jersey,
Okay.
Long Beach Island.
And you came down once and never left.
I came down and it reminded me of my hometown when it was young. And it was 50 years ago.
So where did you wind up buying a house somewhere on the beach, or
I did.
where was your first
was
house?
it a cottage or?
It was a nice house. It was 105 Andromar. It's not
Okay.
there anymore. So,
Is it not there because of the storm or
Yes.
because okay?
No, it got wiped out.
So I was
I
doing
didn't own it.
Okay, I was doing my walk around this morning, and a nice lady, Carolyn, took me to Sea Watch, and she was kind of explaining to me the different houses that used to be on that street there. Of course, the street is escaping
Andre
me.
Marr?
No, behind Mom's. What's the name of that street? there?
Cottage Street.
Yeah, Cottage Street. And she told me that the house was being built now way up in the air, but the original house was the original schoolhouse that was right on Cottage Street.
Yeah, it was Matthew Page cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's not the cottage that obviously I don't think that's the cottage that you're in now because
No.
that was wiped out in the storm, she told me.
Yeah, that was the first they only used it, I think, for a year. Then they moved back where the women's club is.
Oh, okay.
And then it went to where the school is today.
So
that was where it started.
how many
Wow.
kids were in that original school? Do you guys remember?
I think 24.
More,
Something
than,
like
more
that.
than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. And by the way, we did hear from I think it was Vice Mayor Adderholt said at the council meeting last week that the school is not going to be open during this current school year because of the damage from Milton. So that's unfortunate that the kids are still going to
Especially
San
if
Carlos.
they just
I
got
know,
it
I
all
know.
back
Crazy.
together.
You think that would be far enough away that it wouldn't get hit with I mean, it wasn't an Ian storm, but it was a water event for
Yeah.
sure. So
High water. high
and
water.
and your cottage is back there and every weekend
How did it fare during Milton?
We did fine during Milton.
Good.
Yeah.
and every weekend you're doing something new.
We're trying to be open on Saturdays.
Now, Terry, how did you get involved in the Historical Society?
Oh, I knew some of the original members.
Okay.
And, we used to do a joint guided walks. They would do a presentation in the cottage. I would do a presentation in Matanzas Past Preserve because that's what I do. I'm an environmentalist.
Yeah.
And they had just put in
A brand new
a
boardwalk.
I had been on that. It was nice. I ran and walked on that thing, and then I went on the paths when the tide was out. But it was so nice, and then kaboom.
Yeah, and that's
And
a
so-
county. That's a county
Mhm.
property, so that's nowhere near the top of their list, unless you've heard something I haven't.
Please put it on the list.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you should say that. I'm going to add, we have David Mullick on the show tomorrow, and that wasn't on the list because I forgot about it. But
it on the
yeah, I'm
list.
going to put it on the list to
Yes.
ask him if he can give us an
Yeah,
update
that
on
was
Yeah.
was a hidden gem back there.
It is a hidden gem, and you have to realize it was the people of Fort Myers Beach that acquired that property. It wasn't a government entity. It was the people raised the money. Like we raised money today for the different groups. They raised the money back in, when was it, Ellie? The 60s
Early 60s, yeah.
to raise the money for that.
that. And speaking of raising money, Ellie has written one of the most popular books about Fort Myers Beach called "The Lost Icons."
One of.
How many
I'm
books
sure
have you
it
written?
is the
Oh.
most popular.
But that's not your first book, is it?
no.
You have other books.
Well, grammar books.
Okay, well, she might need one of those.
yeah, right.
So the Lost Icons of Fort Myers Beach has sold how many copies now?
Oh, I think we're about 1,000.
Oh, it's more
Nice.
than that. Come on, you have to.
No,
You're undercutting
I
that.
think we're
It's a million.
You
a
have
million.
you
Yeah,
have
a million.
and so it's $30 or $35,
35.
35.
For hardcover.
and you're donating all the money to the.
Exactly. All the money goes to the Historical Society.
Now, if somebody's watching from across this country and they want to buy your book, they can go on the website, right?
They can go on the website. Yes.
And the website address is
Estero Island Historic Society.org.
Estero Island Historical Society.org. You can go and do.
Nice little short name you got there.
Yeah, I know.
We might need to get a new URL for that. Do you
Yeah.
do you ship? You ship them too, right?
Yes, we'll ship it.
All right.
Yes.
And otherwise, if you're on the beach, you can buy them at the Islander at an Anita store.
Yes.
Awesome.
And it is nuts.
And Annette's. Oh, the Book Nook.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously, yeah. We should put them back in our shop online too, so that we can help promote that. So, and you got a big event coming up Monday.
We do. Monday, we're going to talk about the preserves.
Where are the preserves?
Well, the Matanzas Past Preserve is what we were just talking about right behind the cottage. And the Estero Bay Aquatic Preserve is the bay.
whole, yeah.
Goes from the bridge all the way down to Bonita Springs. That's the whole bay.
Okay. And so the mangroves part of the preserves. I mean,
He's an idiot. Go
Any
ahead.
place the high water.
Okay.
So your high tide mark is part of the aquatic preserve.
now what is your talk going to be about? I mean, what do you want? I don't want you to give it away because we want people to go. It's going to be at the Mountain House Monday. So, but kind of give a preview of what you're going to.
I
Educate
think
on.
What we're trying to do is to inform people about the preserves, how they came about, because the history is really interesting and it goes back, I mean, up to 1960, actually 58.
58, yep.
And it's been a battle. The people have come up and have fought and fought and fought for that. And it's just an encouraging. We talk about everything that we lost, but we did save a lot. And these two natural wonders are amazing that we still have them. And, you know, they can be threatened again.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure that people understand. Like with Matanzas Pass, what, 5? We're not on the list, so we don't know how long it's going to be. But we're willing to look at options to raise our own money
Mhm.
to get it done in our own time.
To
And we raise
repair
the
it.
money to buy it. We can raise the money to fix it.
So to repair the dock,
The boardwalk.
The
boardwalk.
Yeah.
have you gotten an estimate on it? Because
No, we don't know.
yeah, you can't even get an estimate on it, right? Because it's not yours. So I mean, you would have to have somebody from the county say yes, and then somebody would go out. I mean, honestly, if there's a way that we can get an estimate on it, we would love to help too, because we've raised a few dollars along the way. I mean,
We'll have to find out.
yeah,
what
I'll ask
Yep.
him tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll pin
find
them
out
down.
what we can do.
We'll pin him down,
as
and he's been great to the
citizens,
beach.
you
So
know?
yeah.
No, we know what needs to be done at Matanzas Past Preserve. What about the other preserves?
The
What about
aquatic preserve?
the aquatic preserve?
Well, it's really important that we stay on top of the aquatic preserve, and we know what's coming up with different legislative sessions. Our new one starts, I think it's March 3rd or
Mhm.
March 4th. Last year, usually you have an itinerary of what's going to happen that legislative session, but we got a surprise last year. There was a tiny little ad
That-
in the newspaper. Oh, you know the little ad.
That little piece to redraw the
okay.
lines,
Redraw
right?
the boundary line. I never saw it. People that read the news press saw it. They were calling me like crazy. Can you tell us about this?
Yep.
What's going on? I had no idea. I
Can,
didn't know
can
what was
you,
going
for
on.
people that don't know, can you kind of give us
Give the highlights
yeah,
of what that
yeah.
was about.
Okay, so we have our wonderful preserve, which is public lands, which I'm a
Mhm.
big public land advocate. That's what I've done my whole life, is try to protect our public lands because they're for the public.
Yep.
So the aquatic preserve is public lands. Like I said, it goes from the bridge all the way to Bonita Springs. And last year it got threatened because we have a local representative and a state senator who decided they wanted to take over 200 acres out of the aquatic preserve. Those 200 acres were right across from here, right across. And there's rookeries, there's bird resting areas, and that means a lot to us. In our comprehensive plan, I'll go back to
Okay.
that. We had a huge
Don't
section.
open that Pandora's mouth.
No, we're gonna have Terry on a separate show
Yeah,
when we're just talking about that. Yeah,
Go ahead.
We had, I'm glad this isn't video.
it is video.
It is video.
It's always video.
And it's recorded forever.
Nobody told me that.
She
Okay.
objects. Go ahead.
So in our comprehensive plan, we have one entire section that was about the environment, because people who live on barrier islands need to be educated about the environment, because if we take care of the environment, it takes care of us. As we've seen in a couple of our hurricanes, right now we're very vulnerable because
Yes.
we don't have a lot of protection. But to take those 200 acres out of our preserve would mean, and what it means by being, we were the first, and this is something else that people
Mhm.
did here. People did this. They got the preserve, Matanzas Pass Preserve, and in the late 1950s, the guys who fished out here in the Back Bay, I'm a fisherwoman, and my husband was a captain here for over 50 years. So fishing is a big deal in my life. They realized in the late 50s that they weren't catching fish like they used to, so they got worried about the growth in the 50s.
The
So-
development growth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So they decided, the locals here got a group together. It only cost $1 to join. They had about 4,000 members.
Wow.
It only cost $1
Wow.
to join. So they had a big voting block and a big voice. And they went to the state and they said, "You've got parks. Why can't we make a water park? Why can't we make something?" And the state owns the land under the water. So they said, and these guys went up to Tallahassee and complained. Finally, where they said, "Oh, we got to shut these people up on Fort Myers Beach. They're all nuts." And so they
They're
said,
still nuts.
"Yeah, absolutely." So
They're sitting out here.
Islanders are like that. So I know. They said, "Okay, we're going to use you as a test area." In 1966, they deemed this, Estero Bay was considered an offshore preserve. Now remember, that was 1966. It took to 1975 to create the Aquatic Preserve Act, and they did it because of Estero Bay. And because of that, today in Florida, there's over 43 aquatic preserves.
Wow.
So that's
It was
why
the
it's
number
important.
first one.
We were the first.
Yep.
We were the first. We're very proud of that. And that's why it's important to protect it.
And so that didn't pass, right?
Wait, wait.
The bills dropped out.
So the just to be specific, because Adam Botana
exactly.
and Jonathan Martin got together and they wanted to do. What was the goal? What were they trying to do?
I'm not sure. Publicly, they said it was for the shrimp industry. Now, the shrimp industry was here when the Aquatic Preserve Act was created, and they were included in it because the shrimpers are just as concerned about the mangroves, because the mangroves is where all the baby fish, 90% of what's out in the Gulf, has their nurseries back here. That's including shrimp. It's including the fish. It's including the grouper. It's including everything. That's the nursery. So if you get rid of the nursery, then you don't have any more product. So the shrimpers were very interested in that as well.
So what was the reason? I haven't been paying attention to that. I didn't pay attention to it like I should have. But what was the reason that they gave that they were trying to do that? Was
For
it
the shrimp?
Well, their excuse, which I shouldn't say excuse, but their reasoning was that the extra cover of protection that Aquatic Preserve gives you was making it too hard for the shrimp industry to build their docks back.
I see.
Well, We only have one really left.
Right.
And that's Erickson and Jensen. They're doing great. That's where I buy my shrimp. They're over there. Their docks are back. They have their own private boats. They're taking in public boats as well. Trico belongs, that land of Trico belongs to the county. And so the county and Trico are deciding on who's going to build the docks back over there. We only have two. 50 years ago, that whole coastline was shrimp docks.
If I remember, did some folks go to the Lee County Board of Commissioners to speak at public comment about it, and it got tabled, or how did it get pulled, or is it just in front of the legislature?
It was in front of the legislature. It didn't get pulled. It just didn't get voted on.
Oh, so it's still hanging out there.
It possibly can be brought back this session.
I
And it
see.
doesn't have to be, well, it has to be advertised, but it wasn't on this year's agenda, but it wasn't last year's either.
Right.
I
So
see.
that-
Yeah, they
that's-
didn't talk about that that I recall at the legislative meeting that took place a few weeks ago. So,
Correct.
so people should be aware of that and get involved if they want to keep them, right?
Get involved, join an environmental group, join the Historic Society. They're always on top
Preserve
of
the
everything.
preserves.
Preserve
Yep.
the preserve. Their Historic Society's on top of everything.
What are you going to teach them on Monday, Ellie?
We're going to talk about the history of both of the preserves, how they're being threatened and what people can do about them.
Okay.
And we also have a representative from the Arches Project who's going to talk a little bit about rebuilding the arches. And it was going to be at Bowditch, but again, the county's saying God knows when. So we're going to try to get it moved to the back by the cottages.
Oh,
You know what, Ellie? That's a great idea.
that is.
I don't think it's a good idea to put it at Bowditch. I think the arches belong at the Historical Society. It makes perfect sense for
That
them to
does
be
make
there. And then you don't have to worry about,
They could
the
be
county-
an arch going out into the
Yeah.
preserved boardwalk.
That was our thought.
When did
Got the
that-
drawings
when did-
and the
I love
plans and
that.
when did this idea come up? I
Um,
hadn't heard anything about it other than Bowditch. So
Well,
it's perfect for them to
yeah.
be there. It only
Yeah.
makes sense for them to be there. I
Ray
mean, you can't
called
rebuild
me
both of them.
and asked, and we were all supportive, but
That's great.
he's getting nothing from the county though. I mean, they're just saying no, we don't want anyone to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, they've got too many
So-
projects.
Yeah.
The Bowditch, who knows how long that'll be open? The pier won't be built till
And he's got
2060.
money. I mean, he's raised over
Yes.
$90,000.
Yes, believe me, I know it's sitting there.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
We've donated. So yeah.
yeah.
They can still put the bricks down.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, over at,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
There's-
perfect
there's-
spot. Yeah.
It is.
So,
Maybe you could put it in front of the building too. This way it could help stop the storm surge
Yeah.
from hitting your building. So
That'll be cool.
it's breaking
I love
news.
that,
That's
yeah.
so it's Monday at 2:00 at the Mound House. There are only 30 seats. So I think there are about 15 left.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to hear two brilliant ladies tell you about the history of Fort Myers Beach, especially the Aquatic Preserve and Matanzas Pass Preserve. So, Terry, anything else you want to talk about? It's like you're
Not for this show.
no for another show. Terry's been speaking at public comment a lot lately, and it's like, wow, she knows a lot about what's going on here, people, but you're not listening. So, no, I don't mean to
It's a
put you on
whole
the
nother
spot.
show.
Yeah, it's a whole nother show. Yeah.
She's still reeling with the
Now
fact
what-
that it's being recorded.
Did you say you broke your knee?
I did. I fell 8 weeks ago.
Ooh.
Broke my kneecap in half.
Ouch.
Did you hit the cement with it? Is that how it broke, or did?
Fell inside my house on hardwood floors.
Ah,
That sounded like it hurt.
that
Yeah.
patella.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right, Ellie. Anything else? You guys going to be on location anywhere, selling books or anything?
I think Anita's going to have the books for sale for the fashion
That's
show.
the show. Yep.
And we're starting a new thing, March, History's Mysteries. And we're going to talk about the Galloway murders.
Well, yeah. What is that about? The
Ah.
Galloway murders?
Well,
You'll have to stay
yeah,
tuned.
like the
they-
Galloways are a big name here in
They are.
Southwest
They
Florida.
owned the Mermaid originally.
I didn't know that.
And they had one of the first houses down at the north end. And you'll learn the rest. That's where they were murdered. The house was burned down. And
A lot of good history.
Was that on 2020 at all? Or
So the drama that occurs now is no different
come on.
than the drama that occurred many years ago. That is the lesson here. Okay.
Things
All
don't
right.
change.
Nope.
so what is it? What is it called again? The History's Mysteries.
History's Mysteries.
Wow. Well, I was speaking of that murder stuff. I was doing the walk around at that the condo building behind Snug Harbor. What is that called?
Oh.
And the lady told me that's where the lady was murdered, and she
Yes,
found her body
yes.
in that place. I'm like, holy
That'll
crap!
be on a history
That's
mystery.
a whole nother book
Yeah,
for
we,
you.
we got
That's hardly
History
that's
mysteries.
recent history.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
people
That'd
have
be a
been
good
murdered?
book.
it would be a
too.
fun book to write.
Ellie, how many
Yeah.
people have been murdered on Fort Myers Beach?
Lynn Hall.
Yeah,
That's
Lynn
right.
Hall.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. What'd you
Marie.
say? She's gonna kill me at Lynn
Oh
Hall. Is that
yeah,
what
who
she
was
said?
that other lady that got dumped in the canal?
Oh,
Born in
Fran.
Jello.
Fran.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
miss Fran.
Oh,
I
Fern.
missed that.
Fern.
Fern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepers.
What about that lady that came down here and befriended someone?
That's
at
her.
the-
That's the
yeah.
one. That's the one that we
was
found
over
her.
there.
Snug Harbor, yeah.
So,
Good Lord.
so how can people join the Historical Society? You do have
Well,
memberships?
here's a big shift.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
enough about death.
From murder to joining your
Yeah.
group.
Go to our website. We've got a application on there, and we are taking memberships.
Oh,
and we
oh,
thank you
yes.
guys. You're one of
Yes.
our first corporate members.
Estero Island
Historicalsociety.org.
Historicalsociety.org.
Actually, it's Historic Society. There's no AL. There should be
Oh,
an AL,
Historic.
but there
Historic.
is no.
We'll
So,
put it
yeah.
up there.
Thank you for fixing my grammar.
Yes.
Well, the grammar's wrong on that. So
Juanita said, thank you for the information on Lost Icons. I just ordered the book and she's looking forward to it. So, yes, you can go on there, order the book. It's a great book and they'll ship it to you and we'll get it back in our online store. And when you buy it from us, I pay for the shipping. So, I love
right.
to help the Historical Society. They're a great group of people. And if you ever go there, remember that the volunteers did all that work out in the yard there cleaning
Yes.
up, and so we'd love to get volunteers and donations together to help with the preserve if that's ever possible. So I'm going to put David
I'll
Malukka in a
swing a
headlock
hammer.
tomorrow and
yes, do that.
see how much if they can get somebody down there to do an estimate, and we could
Yeah.
take it from there, right?
Right.
Have you guys supervise and get people to work out there?
We'll do
We got,
it.
I know we got a plumber in the audience, so
I don't
At
know
least
how
we have
that's
somebody
going to
that
help
can
with building a
fix something.
boardwalk, but
So thank you guys for coming
Thank you
on.
so much.
Monday
Thank
at
you.
2:00 at the Mound House.
That's it.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Terry
very
Kane and Ellie Bunting, everybody. Oh, yes. Thank you all for. Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that.
let me just do
careful.
my thank you
Yes. Go ahead.
to Sam. I don't want to mispronounce his name.
Sam Lurie.
Because he gave us these rings and they're made out of $50. And this one actually, I don't know if I think he knew, but it's got from
You
the
might
year
have
that
asked
I
me.
was born. And then you have the other one, but you're not
Yeah, I'm not
a
going to
ring
wear a ring.
person, but it's
Yes.
so super cool. So
It's
thank
like-
you to him.
You have a better chance of me putting lipstick on than wearing a ring. Although I do wear
I
my
don't want
wedding
to see
ring
either one of those.
every
but
once
thank
in a
you.
while. Thank you all for tuning in. Big show tomorrow. I don't know how we could top today's show, but big show tomorrow. We have David Malukka, the Lee County representative, and we're going to ask him about the pier. We're going to ask him about the parks, all the broken sidewalks. Somebody sent me an email last week. They were walking home from, not drunk or anything, they were walking home across from the Whale, and they fell in one of those broken sidewalks, and she got battered pretty nicely. So, I do need to tell the story about the kid with the eyes. I got to tell the story. So I wish she should be here, but so after the show yesterday, after the show last Sunday, we took my nephews over to the pool, Ryan and Tanner, and we took them to the pool. And they were having a great time. Now, the younger one, Ryan, I don't think can swim. So I watched him like a hawk. Like we got to one end of the pool and he went around, holding on to the side. And I watched him all the way till we got to the other end. And he was totally fine. The kid was totally fine. So as we get to it started out, it was just me and Kim at the pool. And then when we got to the back where we were, the entire family was there, like the mom and the dad and my nephew, my son, my brother's son. I get them all confused. They were all there. They paid, whatever the $65 per person they all paid to get in there. So now we're standing at the bar, and now I feel like I've transferred control of the kids back to their actual parents. So the kids are in the pool. Now they're playing in the you can sit down in this pool. It's so nice over by the beach. So we're sitting by the pool and we're sitting by the bar. And the next thing we see is we turn around and Ryan comes out of the pool with blood like all the way down his face, onto he had no shirt on. Like his entire face was covered with blood. And of course, the first thing you do when you see that is panic, thinking, what in the world is going? Of course, you know, we all had a drink or two. So you think, oh, now you're all totally sober. You see the kid's got blood on his face. And so you wipe the blood off. And what happened was he just fell perfectly on the corner of the pool and hit his face perfectly between the eyes, right above his nose. And, you know, his dad was there. So his dad picked him up and, you know, wipe the blood off and it doesn't look so bad. Now you just got a giant gash here and you think the kid's going to have 2 black eyes. But, you know, they did call the ambulance. They got some stitches to close it up there, and they're at Disney this weekend. So he's fine. But there's no worse feeling than turning around and seeing a young boy or a young kid with blood coming all the way down their face. But I do want to say one thing. The folks at Margaritaville, when that happened, they were unbelievable. Like they were on it. They were helping. They were just, you know, they knew what they were doing when something like that happens, because, you know, your family, you're all panicking, thinking, okay, everything is broken on the kid's face or something, but it just needed a couple of stitches. So everything worked out okay. But that's what happened. And I did want everybody to know that by that time I had transferred control back to the parents. So it wasn't my fault that happened. So I blame it all on the dad. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Wahoo Willie's. Thank you for coming to Margaritaville. Bye-bye.
Thank you.